Hey there, fellow survivors, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to News Cycle, Episode 5, Horror. Okay, we have a new cycle. It's end of year 5. 2 people died as a result of the sandstorms or health effects of the wildfires. So somehow they're not buried yet, but there was nothing I could have done about that. Things are replenished, morale's gone up, and then the other thing is we are entering the moving forward cycle. So I get access to stable roots for the maintenance building. So we'll get that researched first. So here it is. Access to the farm for grain and linen. Residences, which is better housing. Wind turbines, storehouses, guardhouses for security for the homes. Smelters, maintenance buildings, and water pumps. Also, sand, glass, tin ore, copper, bronze, wire. So a lot of production facilities are going to need to be ramped up. We are sitting on a pretty decent amount of brick right now. So as soon as I get divided layers researched, I'm going to start with glassworks. Get glassworks ramped up, and then start smelting copper as well, once we have that researched too. The fishermen should pivot back to mushrooms. And that's all the setup I really need to do. Good. The house needs to be researched. I need to get divided layers first before upgrading to residences. And the residences require glass, so I'm going to need to ramp up glass production before I get the residences. Also, I think I need one more house. Anyway. I think my houses are full. Okay, rising upkeep demands. So this is a quest to build a maintenance building. So the maintenance building helps to keep your stuff from breaking down. So my current priority is grow population to 100, build maintenance and houses. And all that requires glass. So with that researched, let's go get divided layers. And then as soon as that's researched, we'll get as much glass as we can. We have stockpiled a pretty decent amount of bricks. So I can turn my kiln from bricks to glass, and then also the pit from clay to sand. And then switch back if we get enough glass. There is no such thing as raiding. There is no combat. Similar to Floodland or Banished or something like that. Clay just capped out. I'm going to let the cap go up to 3K. Now, another thing that I might want to do ahead of time is to get some additional wind turbines. As all of these new production facilities are going to require power or they'll brown it, or will brown out. And browning out kind of sucks in this game, so wind turbines are relatively free. We'll just stockpile them. So there we go. Now we have access to sand and glass. Switching over the pit and the kiln. And the first thing I want to do with the first batch of glass that we get is to build the maintenance building, and then I'll start working on the residences. And then the last is the insulated furnaces, which allows for a smelter. So smelters employ only craftsmen. So I'm going to need to train some craftsmen if I want to get the smelter going, but it's a more efficient version of the forge. And we'll get that as well. And then we're also going to be able to go into crop rotation expansion, switches, and enforced durability, which is going to unlock wires, tin bars, guardhouses, which are going to be useful to provide security for people. So yeah, the security is going to be fulfilled soon. Something is approaching. Chief, these sounds can only come from a machine. Could our ears be deceiving us? Let's calm down and see what's going on. So we have an old iron battleship out here, and a few events. So a proposal for growth. I am going to allow for a envoy to be deployed. So what that does is in the it's a new regulation here as an action where we can deploy people out to increase immigration attraction, but it reduces workforce by all classes and it uses tools and clothing. It's not something that we necessarily need to do because I'm getting a lot of I'm maxed out on attraction anyway, just as a result of the watchtowers that we've got going on. But I'd rather have the option to do it than not. Also, meat just maxed out, so we're going to raise that cap to 5k. And then let's talk to the ship captain. I come on behalf of the Confederation of Autonomous City-States. My name is Senior Colonel J. Hamilton, commander of the 13th Squadron. I extend my greetings to you. I demand a meeting with the leader of this community. Let me guess, Chief, Captain, or Mayor. I at least hope you don't call yourself General or Governor. I can see your whole village getting worked up over my arrival. The beautiful machine that carried me here is the TMS Horror. Good name. Despite being century old, it is still fully functional. Yeah, I mean, I saw you sail in. Cool. On the way home, we had an unfortunate series of events. We lost one of our engines in a violent storm that lasted 2 weeks straight, and 3 of our comrades were severely wounded during the attempts to repair it. Despite an unresponsive rudder and a malfunctioning engine, thanks to my vast seamanship and leadership skills, yeah, he thinks highly of himself, we managed to follow the coastline and avoid being tossed into the open sea, eventually finding your settlement. Well, good job. If I thought you were sufficiently advanced, I would have liked to stay and establish diplomatic relations on behalf of the Confederation. Unfortunately, you seem to only be a bunch of stragglers. Yeah, what finger am I holding up, dude? Therefore, without further ado, I request your support for a quick repair, for which we cannot give anything in return. We will also need to replenish our stocks of supplies. Normally, a Confederate officer would not condescend to ask for anything from small, desperate settlements like yours, but today the circumstances demand it. Think hard about your answer. The Confederation does not make trades, but it always responds to rejected demands. So, we will provide the necessary assistance, which is iron, basic tools, meat, and vegetables. So that means I would need to start producing vegetables. We do not see any reason to help, so a risky option considering that we know very little about them, or leave and take your broken ship with them, throwing them by the wayside. We can't even produce steel yet, so is such bravado necessary? I don't know. So you guys could decide. I'll give you 1 minute. It is very possible to assist them, but in the 10 days of assisting them, there will be a -20 workforce for all classes and a -40 morale for all classes. Basically, nobody likes them here. So yeah. You guys choose what to do. And if you're wondering, every biome has their own sort of event like this. So there's a little bit of replayability biome to biome. So there's meadows, steppe, and tundra. And this is the meadows one, which you need an ocean for. The other two maps don't have oceans, so yeah. All right, looks like we're going to... Don't see any reason to help. Okay.
This is the TMS Horror from Confederation of Autonomous City-States 13th Fleet. All civilians, evacuate the coastline immediately. This is a warning. I repeat, evacuate the coastline immediately.
All right. Well, while they shell I think you missed. I believe this was an adequate showcase. So we're being forced into it anyway. So let's go ahead, update the priority. Produce vegetables. We want to get them gone. So I'm going to set up a kale yard. Trying to set it up so that it is as efficient as possible, getting the maximum amount of fertility. Is there another spot? That's a 5. Yeah, we'll set up 2 kale yards there. So 2 kale yards, setting up to produce vegetables to get these lazy jerks off our coast. Also, wouldn't be a terrible thing to do to get a maintenance building. So I'll put the maintenance building next to the technical boot camp. Seems like a good place as any for it. So we have this labor theft, which reduces morale for 20 days and also workforce for 20 days. So people are like, well, people that are in workforce buildings are kind of working slower as a result. That's fine. I understand. We got shot at from a jerk, so I don't blame my own people for that. Once these kill yards are set up, we'll get them fully staffed for vegetables. I need one more person. And there we go. So the efficiency here is a result of the fertility. So if I go to the fertility layer, you can see I've placed these kale yards in the most fertile spots of the map, just to be able to supply vegetables as quickly as possible because I want these guys out of my backyard. And then the maintenance building just got built, which gives a little bit of a morale bonus, which is nice. That's one of the reasons why I pushed for it. So let's start to get maintenance workers. So I am going to pull, because I don't really need this mine fully staffed right now because I have plenty of iron ore. I'm going to pull all the people that were working in this mine, shut the mine down for now, and employ them as maintenance workers. Apparently my shift key wasn't working. And they're going to maintain the buildings so that they're in perfect working order, so that we don't have any work stops or breakages or anything like that. And there is a lag time to producing these vegetables. All right, what other research can we get into? One thing that would be nice would be to supply security. Oh, and a group of travelers. Sure. And I do believe that means I'm going to need more housing, which is fine. And these are actually full-blown residences, so we're slowly upgrading our shacks to residences. So once I have extra housing, I'll start upgrading them. Did I get a haircut? I cut my hair, yeah. And there we go. Now, we hit the population of 100. So that was one of our goals as well. Oh, these residences, I forgot. They use wires. So we should probably start making wires. So I have a lot of iron ingots already, although we're using a ton of them. But I'm going to start making copper ingots. And then we're going to need to research switches and circuits to unlock wires, because houses require wires and glass. So I'm also going to set up another smith here so that I can make tools and make wires at the same time. And actually, I have enough people to turn on the other forge. In fact, it might make sense... No, they cost wires to go to a smelter. So as soon as I have some wires, I can upgrade the forges to smelters, and then train my workers into craftsmen, and they'll work more efficiently. All right, we've supplied about half of the vegetables. And guard houses just got researched. Nice. So over here in utility, in tier 2 utilities, there's this guard house. And once we have some wires, we can set up guard houses to protect these homes. Oh, come on, get copper bars quicker. So once we have 13 copper ingots, I can get the wires tech. And then the last one in this cycle is enforced durability, which just requires 125 wires. And that gives us access to tin, 10 ingots, and an upgraded wind turbine. It's too bad the storm doesn't mess with their boat. That'd be nice. At this point, we have one more region, and I'll call it quits with the scouts. Oh, mushrooms are full. And stone is almost full too. Okay, we can now make wires. Initially, I'm just going to have both of the smiths make wires to catch up on the wires that we need. And that will allow me to roll out residences, roll out smelters and guard towers. Oh, interesting. This guy has bronze ingots. Maybe I'll actually buy some. Might as well. I didn't have any, but I have a lot of spare clothing and a lot of spare paper. And then the last research requires wires. So once we start to manufacture all those, we'll be able to research enforced durability as well. The game. So your question is, does it get overwhelming to manage all of the resources? It can be overwhelming, yeah. It definitely can get overwhelming. It requires a lot of management. You can always pause at any time, and there's a lot of overlays to show you like how things are going, and you can track them pretty easily. So while it can be overwhelming, you have the data to manage it well. The game does introduce harsh weather and seasonal effects and other sort of events, which makes it trickier, however. So the last region I'm going to go to is this tundra. And that will be the last one I set up a immigration tower and watchtower, and then I'll just start recalling my scouts. So this Scout Team 2 is about to get recalled. So they're done. If you're wondering, the Scout Team is comprised of, like, fake people. You don't actually spend people to deploy them as scouts. It just costs electricity, oddly. So here are the new residences. One of two. And they house 12 instead of 10. So I didn't really need this second one, but that's fine. So the next thing we wanted to do is to get guard towers on them. And I'll set up a guard tower here and a guard tower here. One on either side to offer protection to both sets of houses. Oh, fish maxed out. Any minute now, the kill yards will finish producing vegetables and send the ship all of its demanded goods. There it is. Bye, Felicia. Don't come back. So here are the guard towers. So now the houses will have security and entertainment services, and that will be reflected here. Well, okay. It hasn't updated yet, but will eventually be reflected, raising morale a bit. Also, with them gone, people are going to be a bit happier as well. Okay, I'm tracking iron ore in like 3 different spots. Let me consolidate that. So this will be sand and clay, bricks, and glass. And then I'll put clothes there, wires there. Leather's always going to be a 2K, but whatever. Okay. There's some redundancy, but well, as I find new resources, I'll change it up. So the scout team just got recalled. Only because I don't like the constant pop-ups. They're kind of interruptive. So let's go ahead and upgrade the shacks to houses. A good goal. Wintertime. And maybe I am going to employ them in the mine this time around to start replenishing the copper ore, because we've been smelting it into copper ingots into wires. So we're going to need to provide that. I'll train up 2 more craftsmen to be the last 2 workers in this basic mine. I barely have a net positive of food, and I think I am going to reduce the double rations to just extra rations. That's still quite a lot. And I'm going to reduce all of the other distributions as well, other than water. We still have plenty of water, so that I don't need to worry about. But that will help to limit the amount, because as you can see, we've only been producing wires to try to meet the wire demands, but the result of that means we're not producing tools, so our tools are being run down. So I'll have to switch back over to tools. Now, one of the reasons to make all those wires is to upgrade the forges into smelters, so I'm doing that as well. And then I'm going to need to train those... Oh, well, one didn't pass, but I'm going to need to train those craftsmen up to work in those forges. Mine was paused, yeah. I just unpaused it, though. So the next cycle's landmark is 130 pop, but we've already met the knowledge needs. Importantly, what is supported here is kitchens for better foods, infirmaries for medicine, distilleries for beer and medicine. So this is a probably like a milestone cycle where you are finally able to meet all the needs of your people. Whereas up until now, that hasn't been true. Oh man, only 1 of 4 graduated. Come on, people. Okay, all 3 graduated that time. So we have 2 smelters fully staffed. I would like to get more smelters for bronze and tin as well. So one for each type of metal. More development. Wow, a lot of developments in that last year. The other thing I can do is the kill yards. I'm going to transition over to herbs. Only because as I enter the next cycle, I will be using herbs to produce medicine. So I might as well just stockpile herbs ahead of time. Rather than to fire them. Fish workers go back to mushrooms. And then at some point, I'm going to want to get a farm going because the farm produces grain, which is for beer. And also barns for milk and meat and things like that. There's a bunch of different uses for grain. But as you may have noticed, like everybody is employed all the time. There's always like more work to do. So here's the last region that we're going to tap. Oh, I don't have the iron to even make a watchtower. Well, that's fine. We'll get it. Should be getting it pretty quick. This efficiency is pretty high. So the efficiency here is 116 because of the benefits of really high morale for the craftsman class, and then also in good hands because the craftsmen are really well trained. So we're making like an extra 0.3 iron ingots an hour, you know, as a result of the high efficiency of the craftsman, which is pretty cool. Now I am not producing any tin, and we have another important vote to have. Animals were close friends to our ancestors. So what we could do is we can either increase the rations needed per capita by 20% for all distribution levels, increase morale for all classes by 7, but increase the chance for pests. Oh no, decrease the chance for pests, sorry. Or not share our food with pets, but increase the chance of lice, fleas, diseases, avoidable injuries, etc. So basically, do we keep pets as a result of needing extra food, or do we not keep pets? Looks like you guys want pets. Here in the settlement active effects, we have the effects of pets. And then also we'll have the morale as a result of the effects of pets. I think it needs to be updated, but we'll see that in a minute. Right, bud? He's happy. We now shelter him. Alright, I would like to start mining tin. No, that's not tin. Workforce of 1. That will be fixed. I just don't know where to borrow from yet. Oh, and also we are in the power deficit. So let's not ramp that up yet. What happened? Oh, well, all right. Let's go ahead and spam out a whole bunch of the lower tier. I think these two smelters can be turned off because they're not doing anything, and that's chewing up all our power. But there's still pretty high wind for turbines here, so okay, get those built. And I am lacking iron ingots in order to upgrade additional housing. Just because we're using them faster than we're producing. Which is surprising considering how fast I'm producing it. So as soon as I'm able, ramping up another smelter for iron would be good. So let's get 2 more craftsmen trained so that they can do that. In terms of research, there's no more research I can do until I hit next cycle. But now we have a little bit more robust of a power grid with all those wind turbines. And perfect maintenance score. So if you're wondering, that just means like things aren't going to break down, set fire, I think. I'm not exactly sure what the perfect maintenance score is, but I'm getting that because the maintenance shack that we have is fully staffed and fully supplied with the daily upkeep needs. So things don't break down. All right. Brickyard, back to glass. And I'm probably have enough for the watchtower there, yep. All right. So we have 2 smelters for iron. That should catch us up on our iron deficit. And then everybody else right now is going to be employed in this mine. Getting tin. So tin is, of all of the minerals, or all of the ores, tin would probably be the hardest to mine up because it's really slow to mine. As you can see, I'm getting 16 a day. Versus like 78 a day of the copper. So even like a maximum staffed tin mine isn't going to get a lot of tin. And then also high-tech machinery, well, high-tech. The technological machinery that you eventually require, the mechanisms and the like, require quite a lot of tin bars in order to manufacture. So tin is one of those things like you won't need a lot of initially, but eventually you'll need tons of it. So trying to find all of the tin veins on your home tile is going to be useful. And then if you're going to upgrade mines and upgrade mine shafts, probably upgrading the mine shafts for tin makes sense to do first. But it really, that I suppose, depends on your demand. So right here is like a 10 and 2 fully staffed tin mine getting 29 a day versus this like essentially half staffed getting 36 a day. So tin takes like twice as long, or twice as hard, or whatever. Thank you for tuning in to New Cycle, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 30th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Solar Flare survivors.